afternoon to all of our guest global partners logging in from the east, west, north, and south, all of the corners of the world, where we see our guest global partners delivering international student recruitment into our amazing network of partner institutions in GUST Canada. We thank all of you for taking some time today to join us for what I suspect will be our most exciting session of our GUST Gateway to Canada event, where we are looking to empower our agent partners with the information, skills, resources that they need in order to expand their businesses, boost their student recruitment by partnering with Canadian institutions that are focused on growth, innovation, and internationalization, which is one of the key things that people love about Canada and keeps it a top choice year after year for international students. So I will give all of our partners a little bit of time to join us here today, but not too long, because we have a very exciting session planned for you, which I'm looking forward to sharing with my dear friend and mentor and person who I think is the most exciting person in GUST, which is Cindy McLeod. All of you know her already as our GUST Canada CEO. She is blazing trails all over Canada for women, minorities, all students around the world, and all kinds of people who are looking for innovative, forward-thinking institutions to change Canadian classrooms and communities. Cindy is leading the way with so many of her connections and plans for building the Canada of the future, which GUST is so proud to support. And all of you who support us in international student recruitment are the ones who are driving those students that are making that change. So before we can all get started, I would like to make sure that we can introduce our two amazing ladies here today. Cindy will be leading our session, but she has someone very exciting that she would like for you to meet as well. So just before we get started, everybody, giving all of our teams one more minute to join us here, I would like to mention that we had the opportunity to speak to a Canadian MP, Parm Bains, earlier this week, last week, who had sent a message of confidence to our partners and highlighted the opportunities ahead for their talented young students. And so we would like to listen to what it is that he had to say just before we get started here with Cindy McLeod, our GUST Canada CEO, welcoming a new event for our partners. So we'll cue up that video and share that with you now, and then we'll get started with our event today.
Policy-wise for Canada right now, just by the end of this year, we need 1 million jobs filled. Your agents that are watching, the people that are right now should be aware that that is a number that we're trying to fill. And we simply need more people here. The global university systems and the post-secondary institutions here have done such a great job of not only recruiting students from everywhere, but making sure that they're getting the required skills that they need. At this point right now, we are looking as a country to invest to support almost 500,000 new training and work opportunities, including 215,000 opportunities for youth. So the opportunities are extremely immense. It's not just limited to say, I think you just mentioned the hospitality or the tourism sector. We also want business entrepreneurs. We are going through a major digital transformation of our industries, which requires a lot of IT skill sets. So there's a tremendous array of areas that we need to fulfill.
Thank you all. So I think that that puts us in a perfect context to discuss all of the opportunity available in Canada with one of the people who is leading the way, making real change. I welcome Cindy McLeod, our GUST Canada CEO. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Kayla. Thank you so much. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of our agent partners around the world. I always get so excited when we do these events because it really makes me understand that we do have a very international group with us every time we're doing a GUST Gateway event. GUST Gateway event is a 2-week series on the gateway to Canada, and we've had some very dynamic speakers, and today is not going to be any different. And just before I introduce our very special guest today, I want to congratulate the GUS Gateway portal. I see this morning when I wake up, you've actually hit 50,000 applications for the portal, which is just incredible. So Kayla, congratulations to you and your team for that amazing work. And I hope that this is making the experience with global university systems and our agents very, very, very efficient and very smooth. So thank you so much. And so today, I'm very, very pleased and honored to introduce someone who's been a longtime friend to University Canada West and to GUS Canada. And I want to share a couple of stories right after I introduce our special guest. But today we have the Consul General of Mexico in Vancouver, Berenice Diaz Ceballos. And welcome, 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 Berenice. So nice to see you today. It's been a long time since we've been able to visit one another in person. I know you're so busy, but thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you, Cindy. I'm really happy to be with you. As you know, I have always supported education, and that's one of my main tasks also in the consulate. And well, it's really amazing to see what you are doing, all the applications that you are receiving. I really look forward to talk much more with you.
Thank you. So for our agent partners around the world, Consul General Berenice, she's held the position since 2016. And prior to that, she served as prior to serving as Consul General, she worked with the Ministry of Foreign Relations for 25 years, and she's had an incredible background with the United Nations systems and social affairs and human rights, and just so much experience that she's brought with us to British Columbia, to Vancouver. So Berenice, a few almost 3 years ago, we had a visit in your office, and I mentioned at that time that GUS Canada was going to create scholarships for the Americas, for students from all the Americas, that they could come to study at University Canada West with a scholarship, a very generous scholarship. And as I was preparing for our get together today, I asked to actually see the numbers and what we've managed to do, because you were very supportive of us, and you helped us also open up the discussion with other consul generals from the Americas. And I think today, when I look at University Canada West now has 1,572 students from the Americas. And when we started 3 years ago, I think we probably had about 25 to 30. And 408 of those students are actually from Mexico, studying at University Canada West. And we also have students, about 25 students in Montreal at our Trebas Institute, 112 from Mexico with the Toronto School of Management. And we have a brand new public-private partnership with Niagara College in Toronto, and we're just getting started, but we already have 5 applications. So just incredible for what we've, looking back at the discussion we had 3 years ago and where we are today. And thank you so much for your support. And the students from the Americas and our students from Mexico are just making such an incredible contribution to our campus, to the diversity, and as graduates. It's amazing. So again, you were part of this right in the beginning, and it's been very, very successful. So thank you for that. So today we have.
Thank you.
And today I just have a few questions for you, and we have about 45 minutes. And if we have a chance, we'll take some questions from the from our partners from around the world. But I just wanted to start off maybe by talking a little bit about the transnational alliance between Canada and Mexico has resulted in years of economic prosperity, idea exchange, and study abroad. And since 2016, promoting the healthy and powerful relationship between Mexico and Canada has been one of the primary responsibilities today of yourself. You've done an amazing job. And so again, today, as we go through a number of questions, it's just really a pleasure to have you with us today. And we're all looking forward to your insights and your wisdom and your guidance on how we continue to foster relationships and how we do the very best that we can for our students. So I just want to start off by saying that in the last 5 years, Canada has become the top destination for international students globally. We've seen our classrooms swell with young, talented students from every corner of the world, including Mexico, who bring vibrant ideas and committed attitudes to our classrooms and our communities. And could you kind of share with us your estimate of how many Mexicans come to study or work in Canada every year? What does that number look like now?
Well, thank you, Cindy, for the invitation. And yes, I remember when I arrived. I can also say that one of the first persons I met when I arrived, it was Cindy. She gave me her hand. She has been a very good friend, and she guided me through the education system here in Canada. Because as you may know, it's completely different from Mexico. So you need a guide, and Cindy was my guide when I arrived here 5 years ago. And I'm really happy about the numbers you are having. I'm much more happy to know that people from Americas are participating much more. Because normally it's people from Asia, from Europe, but the numbers were very low here in Canada. And I'm really happy that these students will have the opportunity to live here in Canada, to learn from Canadians and from all people from the rest of the world, because this is a multilateral, multicultural society. And I think that's very important also because the global university system has very good values and principles. And I think that's important also for the students. It's not just the classes or the curricula, but also the principles and the values. And well, going back to the numbers, I can tell you that Mexico, my impression here is, well, Canada is very big, as you know. I think Mexico is not very well known for people here in British Columbia, and that has been one of my main jobs, to try to give a different idea of Mexico, not only as a tourism place. and well, in that sense, we started asking Mexico to support much more students to come. So my numbers when I arrived here, just to give you a number, in 2018, we had 330 students that came as exchange. Then that number, we duplicated the next year, 695 students. So I think we achieved one of the goals that we set at that moment. And more or less before the pandemic, we were bringing around 5,000 Mexican students to study in British Columbia in different institutions, not only English, also post-secondary, 12th grade, universities. So I can tell you that the number is large. And I have noticed also that there's an increased interest of people studying here in Canada. And I tell you, because as you know, one of our mandates is the collaboration and exchange with universities. And it's very interesting because they closed the borders, but they were still many students working from home. And nonetheless, this year I have received much more questions from parents in Mexico. No, they want their children to be raised here. Obviously, they like a lot British Columbia because of the weather. But I know that many students are planning. And it's interesting because at the beginning, it was they thought only about the US. not going to study to the US, but now Canada is in the center of the minds of everybody because of the development of the society. I don't know why, but in Mexico, sometimes they have the idea that American and Canadians are the same or completely equal. And I normally make them see that you are good partners with the US, but Canadians are very special also.
Thank you so much, and exciting that the numbers are growing and that the interest is growing. And yes, because it makes us wonder about US with the change of leadership now, how that will actually impact recruitment for Canada from the Americas. So this is good news for us. So I have another question. And I think this is an excellent question considering your background. And so most of our audience connect working in a consulate with issuing visas and passports. But however, there's a lot more involved. And in your case, the defense of human rights, policies to uplift women, and promoting multiculturalism has been an important part of the role all these years. How would you explain to our audience today what it's like working as a consul in a country and a city both known for their highly diverse communities and strong educational interests?
Yes, Cindy, yes, you're completely right. Sometimes people think that the consulate is only issuing visas and passports. But well, by the way, let me share with you that I know a lot of Mexicans are coming here. I can tell you that we have increased our services 300% if we compare to 3 years ago. That means that a lot of Mexicans are coming here and we are providing them services. Our services are quite diverse. For example, I have attorney general powers. They are limited, but still I can help people with those kinds of documents. We receive a lot of legalizations because of the studies. People come here to study and they need to legalize the document to bring to their school or university in Mexico. So yes, we have a huge area for documentation. But another area, Cindy, that is very important in the consulate is the area of protection. And as you know, besides students and tourists, every year we bring 6,500 temporary workers here to British Columbia. As you, in total to Canada, we bring about 25,000, but only to British Columbia, 6,500 people. And they were considered essential during the pandemic because, as you know, it was not only coming to work to Canada, but they became a very important part of the supply chain of food here in Canada. No, they are really participating, they are really contributing not only to the economy, but to the society here in Canada. And obviously that's a lot of work because we take care of our workers if they leave Mexico while they are here and until they go back. And also, well, another challenge that during this time was the question of the vaccines, making sure our workers receive the vaccines and also, and I have to recognize this because British Columbia was the only province that allowed the workers to make their quarantine in hotels. And that was, I think, an excellent decision of Dr. Bonnie Henry and the authorities, because that helped us prevent a massive contagion of COVID-19 among the workers, because the houses or the premises are sometimes small, so the contagions could be much more difficult. And well, also we give a lot of services to any connational. If any Mexican has any problem abroad, we can advise them. If they need legal assistance, we can tell them who they can work. We also visit the people in jails. No, so we give all kinds of protection sometimes, and it's very difficult situations. If somebody dies here, we have to repatriate the body. But we try to support all people and guide them during their time here in Canada. And well, as I said, I don't know if everybody is aware, but Mexican administration decided to close some offices abroad And that was the case here in Vancouver. So right now, part of the mandate of the consulate is also to promote trade and investment with Mexico, to promote tourism, innovation, cooperation, cultural affairs. So our agenda, our portfolio has grown a lot, and that has given me the opportunity to be much more in contact with many authorities here in British Columbia. And also, let's remember that last year, CUSMA, the Canadian-US-Mexico agreement, entered into force. So that's a very good opportunity between Canada and Mexico, because what we're looking for is integration of North America. And as we saw during the pandemic, the supply chains were broken, and now countries are looking to guarantee their supply chains regionally. So I think that's very, very important to bear in mind, that we need to work much more closely. And well, Mexico is really a great land of opportunities for Canadians and for doing business also.
Thank you very much. And earlier Kayla played the clip from MP Parm Baines, and one of the things he talks about is in Canada we need 1 million skilled workers by the end of next year. So I think the work that the consul is doing to help bring Mexican people to also work in Canada to augment this labor gap that we have is extremely important. It's very difficult, and I know our agent partners that are listening today, there's so many opportunities for students, for graduates of all the programs that we're offering across Canada. It's just such an incredible time for young people and mature people to make that transition to Canada through an education gateway, actually. So I think it's really, really important to our economy that we have these channels to continue to bring in people to work, that we need to, as you said, keep the supply chain going. So thank you very much for that. This October, the Consulate for Mexico has been at the Mayor's Committee meeting to strengthen the relationship between British Columbia and Mexico. Could you explain to our partners and to our teams and the students the importance of this collaboration, and what does it really mean for us in British Columbia?
Yes, Cindy, before answering that question, I would like to go back a little bit to the question before, because yesterday I had a great opportunity to participate in a seminar with experts in migration. And I found it quite interesting, because we were talking about the needs of Mexico and Canada. Obviously, I'm quite aware that you're needing people, and it's not only 1 million of skilled workers. You will need also middle and low income workers. And I think that, and what was very interesting for me yesterday, yes, we know that migration is each country decision to allow who can enter the country or not, but that there is a need to change a little bit the idea that we have regarding migration. Now we have to think it regionally. No, so if we are talking about consolidating North America, and in this sense, obviously the US is a huge magnet for us, but that we need to look for a process in which we take into consideration the needs of all the countries, because we have to be aware that migration will continue in the following years. No, and as I was telling you, it's not only the interest to go to the US, now the interest has become also to come to Canada. No, so we need to make sure that migration is orderly, legally, and that people are treated very fair. And well, for me, the discussion yesterday was quite interesting, because we need to integrate. Yes, Mexico deals migration with the US and Canada does the same, but we need a mechanism so we can integrate the interests of everybody. And well, Mexico has a very large population. We are 120 million people. And in the case of Canada, well, there are different proposals on the table, but it's also very surprising to see the numbers that Canada poses, because you have been increasing the opportunities for people that want to migrate to Canada. The numbers of Canada are quite impressive, 4,500 people every year, and you're opening opportunities. And in that sense, I want to connect it again with education, because obviously the people that you will give the opportunity and education, they will have much more chances to stay and remain here in Canada. And we have to take into consideration that the CUSMA has also a chapter for helping students and business people to move between countries. So excellent. I think education is a very good basis for students and to try to strengthen the exchanges. I was quite surprised when I arrived here that Mexico was, I think, in the 7th place of sending students. No, and that's why I'm really happy that numbers have changed. And one of my objectives while I'm here is still to hire those numbers. So I think that's another issue to bear in mind, that we need to cooperate, and that we have very talented people, and education is a way to strengthen those exchanges. You were asking me about a meeting that I had with the Mayor's Committee. It was quite interesting. Let me put you a little bit in context. British Columbia is the only province that doesn't have an office of representation in Mexico. No, so that's why sometimes I understand why British Columbia. Yes, people know British Columbia obviously for summertime, for winter time, for skiing. But since there is not an office in Mexico, exchanges and trade have been very limited. So we are working with Metro Vancouver in order to, we are analyzing the possibility that they open an office. No, they will open an office, and after 1 year, they will send more people to Mexico. You know, because Mexico, as I was telling you, it's a place of opportunity because of its people. We are a democracy, we are a vibrant city, and our population is quite young. The average in population is 27 years old. So, and Mexico, it's quite diverse. The north is very industrial. The south is not as prosperous as the north. But we are leaders in many sectors. We are leaders, for example, in aerospace, in automobiles. We are also leaders in processing foods. So, and we think we are not competing with Canada, but that our economies could be very complementary. And in that sense, for me, it was a great opportunity to participate in these meetings, because I had the opportunity to talk directly to the 23 mayors that participate in that. And for me, obviously, it was an honor, because it was the first time that they were receiving, well, not the first time, because they were working, they already had a partnership with the Netherlands, but there was no partnership with any country of Latin America. So this was a great opportunity to talk to them, to talk about the opportunities. And also, Mexico has been promoting an initiative at the mayor's level. We want to have a mechanism between the mayors of Canada, the US, and Mexico, because we think that many of the problems that we are facing need local solutions. Not federal ones normally, but local solutions. And this forum was created. They adopted a declaration. It was in Los Cabos. Due to COVID-19, they couldn't meet again, but we're hoping that next year there will be another meeting. Maybe it's going to be in Austin in the US. And we really see forward for the participations of the mayors of Canada. No, because as I was telling you, if we think about climate change, if we think about food supply, or whatever thing you have in mind, many of the solutions come from the local experience. So that's what we would like to promote much more, maybe a bottom-up approach that we think it would help. And obviously the diversity between Mexico, Canada, and the US would be very interesting for that collaboration. So I tell you, I was quite impressed. Well, the officers were great. The mayors were very open to the possibility of increasing the exchanges. And well, it's, as you know, it would have taken me months maybe to go and visit each mayor to their office. And I had the opportunity to make a presentation about Mexico. So it was really, really a great opportunity for us, and I'm very confident that in the future, and opening that office of British Columbia in Mexico, our exchanges will increase and we will open more opportunities for our populations in many senses.
Excellent. It sounds like some incredible progress has been made, and very, very exciting for all of us in British Columbia and Canada. And again, I believe all of these initiatives will have a very positive impact on the future of our students, the future of our graduates. So thank you for sharing that. How much support can a student find from the Mexican consulate once they arrive in Vancouver? Do you run any kind of programs to support the student community during their studies? I mean, is there a support system there?
Yes, we have a support system. Cindy, normally what we recommend all students and parents, first of all, when they come here to Canada, to make sure that schools are registered, no? That they are serious schools here in Canada, so they are sure where their children are. And obviously, we ask them to register at the consulate, so we can know where the students are in case of any need, because as you know, we have a line of protection in the consulate. We work 24/7. There's a special line for temporary workers, but we have another line that is dedicated for students, so we can support. And our support goes from anything you can ask me. No, if they have a basic question, if they lose their documents, if in any case, if they are taken to a hospital for any reason and the parents cannot be here, we accompany them to the hospital, and we go hand in hand with the students. But sometimes, as you will imagine, students feel really free here in Canada. No, and I have had some experience that parents ask me to follow up on their children, and the children tell me, no, don't call me. If I need something, I will call you back. No, because they really feel independent here in Canada, and they are assured that it's a very, very secure city, Vancouver and surroundings and the island. But I can tell you that we really, if any student is in crisis or in need of assistance, we will be there at any time. And that's why also I like to have a good relationship with education institutions to know how the system works, how we can follow. And also because I have been working, Cindy, to try to open new spaces, not only for Mexico, but for Latin America. I find that the curricula lacks a little bit of, not a little bit, lacks of a space for Latin American countries. No, I think sometimes they have studies regarding Europe or other countries, but I think it would really enrich the curricula of all institutions if they include Latin American or Mexican studies. And in that sense, I try to participate, go to seminars, give talks in universities to share with the students all the history and all the good things that Latin America has.
You know, that's such a great point, and I'm going to actually share that with our faculty as they're building and adapting the curriculum around truth and reconciliation. And I know we do a lot more from the Asia perspective, and I think you've just raised a very, very important point. And I will be asking our academics to actually look at how they can incorporate more of the history, the culture, a better understanding, and even around trade. So I think that's a very, very valid point for us as educators. Thank you.
Let me tell you, Cindy, that it's obviously the consulate cannot do everything, for the students, and we also partner a lot with NGOs. As you know, Canada has a very good system of NGOs. So sometimes we also ask the students to go with the NGOs that can help them, not only to newcomers or to settle down, but also for guidance. And I think NGOs do a great job. Normally we work a lot with Mosaic, with Options, with YMCA, because since they are young people, they need also to be in contact with young initiatives. And the school, yes, it's important, but also what they do after the day. So that's why we support a lot on NGOs. And also one of our partners is MyTax, no? That you know that they are trying to bring Mexican talent to Canada. And well, the president used to be a Mexican. So obviously our bondages were much more strong with MyTax, and we think it's a really good initiative for scientific people.
Okay, excellent. So I'm gonna ask you a question it's probably a little bit more on the personal level. I hope that's okay, but you know, every year we're seeing more female applicants to GUS Canada institutions, and this year we even created $550,000 for women in Canada to apply for their MBA through University Canada West. And I know we expanded some of those scholarships to some of the Latin women's associations across British Columbia, across Ontario. And I'm really excited to watch these women graduate and take on leadership roles. Now, you've had a very interesting career yourself personally. And I know this is something that both you and I are very committed to, and that's around promoting women in all fields. And as you might know, I'm the co-founder of something called Global Women in Education, and helping to mentor and inspire women in the field of global education. And now we have many, many other people involved that are not even from education, but you know, you actually, I'd like to hear more about how the challenges that you were thought with let's say, smashing that glass ceiling to become a female consul general. And if there's, you can share some of, you know, your experiences, but also what kind of programs are out there to help promote women in business, and what are those opportunities in Canada, and especially for Latin women? I think we'd be very interested.
Well, Cindy, as you know, I have always promoted human rights. No, I said that I have different hats in my career. One of them was participating and working for the United Nations and also the OAS, always representing Mexico in different seminars and international conferences. So I had the opportunity in 1993 to participate in the Conference of Human Rights. Also in 1994, I had the opportunity to participate in the elaboration of the position of Mexico for the 4th Women Conference worldwide. So I learned a lot there about which are the human rights, what are the challenges, especially for women. So I was quite happy. And also, let me tell you that I was very fortunate because, well, I had a very good education. No, in Mexico, I was in a bilingual school. Then my father gave me the opportunity to go to Switzerland to study French. I did learn quite good French, but I don't practice it very much. So my French is not that good right now, but I had that opportunity. And the university where I studied was a very good university with a lot of activities on the curricula and outside the curricula, so you could change some of the classes you wanted to be. And then, well, I entered the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I have been a diplomat for the last 25 years. It's not easy being a diplomat. People sometimes think that we are always in parties and in cocktails, but that's not the reality. No, we as I was trying to share with you, the work of the consulate is quite diverse, but and you have to go from one level to another one. We have to pass exams every 2 years. You need to keep on getting improving your skills. And I tell you, it's not easy. Right now, if you see how the minister is composed, is on the top levels, there are 70% of men that are ambassadors and only 30% we are women. If you go to the lower skills jobs, it's obviously on the contrary. There are much more women than men. And I think that's important to make that the playing field is the same for everybody. And that's why I'm really happy that this administration, they launched the feminist foreign policy, and that has been very interesting. And I can tell you, Canada obviously is also a country that promotes a lot human rights. And we have partnered with Canada in Mexico and here in Canada in order to support and strengthen the respect for women, to eradicate violence against women that has increased with COVID-19, and to try to support women. And it's funny that you just asked me about how we support women. We just recently launched a program for Mexican women entrepreneurs. And it's really a great effort from Mexico because it's going to last for 4 or 5 months. It's quite completely, the classes that they will have are related to marketing, accounting, social media practices, the legal foundations behind building your own businesses, and they will be coached by experts. Every woman that participates, and I think we have 37 people, they will be guided by an specialist to go through their business to see how they can help them. And I didn't mention it, but I think it's also important. They will also have a course called Dream Builder that they will take throughout the course with the Arizona State University. And also we are going to give them also some coaching on mental health. Because when women are trying to establish a business, you know that obviously they are putting maybe all the money that they have in that business. So in order that they can focus in their business and the things they have to sort out, we will be coaching them, also giving them some tips for their mental health and not to be stressed, and so they can really focus on what they want to do with their business, and we will go hand in hand, and they will have opportunities to talk to the mentors one-on-one. It's going to be classes with all the group, yes, but then there will be activities for each of the students to have their mentors talk to them and review their program. And I tell you, I think sometimes men criticize that there are quotas for women. No, but we know what has happened in the past. I was the other day reviewing Mexico and Canada. We are obviously members of the United Nations, but we also participate. We have also signed and ratified the Convention for the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, and we regularly present our reports. And the other day I was looking for Canada's report, and I compare it with Mexico's report, because what we are looking for, Cindy, is also to make a cooperation program. Now I can tell you we have not finished it in the consulate, but we are going to we have already presented it to Mexico. We're waiting for the response. But the idea would be to have a lot of cooperation. Basically, we're going to start with some programs for indigenous people or First Nations in different areas, but it will have a special emphasis on women. For example, women that are in jails, women that are discriminated. And I think Mexico and also Canada, we have a lot to do for our indigenous people. So that's why we are making that proposal. We saw the report. We tried to identify which were the areas where we could give expertise and bring institutions and ministries together. And we will present it because we think that in every activity that we do for women can have an impact. In the consulate, just to give you an idea, this year, this year we displayed a movie called Las Sufragistas, that is the history of how women got to vote in Mexico. It was really hard. We only received that privilege until 1956. So how is the story and how are our new generations participating? The director of that movie is Ana Cruz, that she's a wonderful director, and she's a woman. She has been awarded with several prizes. Also, for example, I joined forces with the women of the Consular Corps. Now I am the Dean of the Consular Corps, but I work a lot with the Consul of Philippines in seminars also to promote human rights. I also promote talented Mexican women artists such as Daniela Ocaña, Ari de la Mora. So we try to identify the Mexican talents that are here, and we are normally trying to promote them and recommend them for scholarships, for seminars, because we really do a lot of things. For example, for the pandemic, we also, our Mexican indigenos, they make some masks that were woven by the indigenous in Mexico. And it was interesting because when I asked for a design, they did a design with a flag of Canada, a little flag on the side, but it was a way to support our indigenous people during the pandemic, and also as a gift, as a token of appreciation for Canadians here in British Columbia.
So, Berenice, I want to say on behalf of GUS Canada, and as the CEO of GUS Canada, I'm actually making this. I'm extending an offer. So we're very interested in working in any of these areas for women and for Indigenous people, Indigenous women, and at University of Canada West, we have the Next Generation Innovation Hub, and we're really focusing more and more on entrepreneurship. And recently I've been in discussions with some Canadian Indigenous leaders around how we can use the Next Generation Hub at UCW to start to foster more entrepreneurship for women. So I'm extending today an offer that if there's anything we can do to help with any of our institutions across Canada, but University of Canada West is in your backyard in Vancouver. Please ask us, please let us know how we can be involved, how we can be supportive, and how we can help to make an impact in these women's lives and in Indigenous people's lives. Prior to joining GUS many years ago, I was involved in an amazing project in Chile with Mapuche people, the Kamloops Indian Band, many of the First Nations bands in the interior of British Columbia. In my career, it's been one of my most favorite initiatives that I've been involved in. So please ask us. We also have a beautiful new building downtown Vancouver that you haven't had a chance to see yet, but that's also very open to you and to your consul around using for special events if you ever want to, if you ever need the space. And we look forward to you being able to come on campus and welcome all of these students that you've really had a personal hand in helping to shape this scholarship to help students from Mexico and all the Americas to come to University of Canada West. And it's trickled across GUS Canada and Montreal and Toronto as well. I'm just going to wrap up with a couple of two questions, and then I know we've taken a lot of your time this morning, but for students that are coming from Mexico to Vancouver to study, how do they get integrated into the community? How do they make friends from back home? That's that's one of the questions. And I know I'm always asking you where are the best restaurants. I'm sure you can't say that on here today, but I'm always asking you that. And then any celebrations that are coming up in Vancouver that students may be interested in, particularly around traditions from Mexico, if you can share any of those. And then I think we're going to wrap up.
No, well, thank you, Cindy. I take your word of going to your premises and also to make an event together. And also, another issue that I think that you have taken into consideration always in your institution is those people that face double discrimination. No, and I am sure that you took into consideration persons with disability. No, because imagine that you are an indigenous women with disabilities. It's obviously very difficult for them. But I will continue working and elaborating this proposal, but I will share it with you because I would really like to launch it together. But regarding what you are asking me, well, obviously, we try to have events throughout the year, no? And the next event that we will be doing is the 6th year that we're going to have the annual Day of the Dead contest. You know, well, sometimes it's not easy to, for people from Asia, for example, to understand that Mexico celebrates death. No, and we normally do these altars that they have 7 layers, and each of the layers has a different significance. We normally do them because there's a belief in Mexico that on that day, that normally it's the 1st of November and the 2nd of November, the dead people come. So you put like a table with a lot of Mexican colors, with flowers, with a picture of the person that just passed away. So this year we're going to do hybrid events. One will be present, taking into consideration the social distancing that is suggested by the authorities. We are also having an exhibition that would be located in the Chan Center in UBC on October 30th. This is quite amazing. It has been done by an artist called Adrianeta, but I really invite you to visit because it's different representations of death, but very colorful. So it would be quite nice. Also, we will be working with a gathering place, a community center in downtown, where we will put also an altar there. This altar would be dedicated for the people that died due of COVID-19. And also we will do an ofrenda together with Latin Cuba. And I really invite people to either register in the consulate or subscribe to our newsletter, so you get a sense and an idea of what we're doing. If it's an economic event, if it's something cultural, and to follow up. And that's a way that we make students integrate much more, because we don't want that students just remain among people speaking Spanish. So we try to do events where Canadians and Mexicans participate so they can integrate much better to the society. Because as you know, always migrating it's quite difficult for the newcomers.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much for that. And there has been a number of questions that have come up from our audience, and I think we're going to be out of time to answer those, but I know that Kayla and her team will work to get those answers back to everybody that has asked questions, and we'll be sure to close that loop for everyone. So Consul General, thank you so much for spending the time with us today. I think excellent answers to the questions, very, very informative, and very encouraging and exciting for the future. And again, I'll look forward to following up with you on some of these initiatives that your office is undertaking, and also for all the Latin countries that we work with. And so again, thank you so much. And we're looking forward to the day that we can have you on our campus. And again, my offer is open that if there's something that you need extra space for, please think about that campus as your home as well. So Kayla, do you want to say anything at this stage to?
I do. I want to thank you for your time today, for leading this incredible session. I feel like I learned so much as somebody who works in a global role. It's so important for us to have these connections that our Gus Canada schools and our Gus Canada leadership are forging with not just businesses, but also government relations and also our communities, in order to be sure that we successfully place our applicants from all over the world anywhere that they need to be, in the right institutions, right fit programs, right fit locations, but especially for uplifting our Mexican applicants into British Columbia, which we're so excited about. We have 2 institutions located in British Columbia, and we're looking forward to maybe more in the future. So thank you, Cindy, for all of your time today. Thank you, Bernice, for yours. Thank you to all of our Gust Global partners who are joining us in our journey to change Canadian classrooms and communities. I hope that you learned something today. I sure did, about how everything that we're doing is making real life impact for our countries and for the people who we serve. We look forward to seeing you in the rest of our Gust Canada Gateway events, and we will look forward to seeing you next week as well for Germany, where we will look forward to talking about how German applicants can also be addressed from Mexico or anywhere else in the world. But today we say thank you all to everyone from Gust Canada and for everybody who is representing our Gust Global partners. Have a wonderful evening. We'll speak to you again soon.
Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.